pretty good for Warlock.
You've got Tauren, Trolls, Blood Elves, Goblins, and then Pandarans can be on either side. Then on the allied race side of things for the Horde, you have Nightborn. You have High Mountain Taurens, which are basically just Taurens but moose. You have Mahagar Orcs. You have Zandalari Trolls.
And the only one you have unlocked, the Vulpera.
Yes, the Vulpera. That is the only allied race that I have actually gone for. The only question, though, is which side would you want to be on? Would you want to be on the Horde or the Alliance side?
Oh, no.
Because I can make a race on either side.
You can make either side, I know.
I can make either side and not be bothered by it.
I mean, I don't know what their specializations are like now.
They don't really have entirely specializations. It's just that picking
compared to Classic, I'm talking about.
Oh well, specializations are completely different.
Who has best summon ability for classes?
No one actually, because now classes are restricted or unrestricted based on what race you pick.
I know. I'm asking which class has the best summoning.
Definitely Warlock.
Okay.
Warlock definitely has the best summoning, and if you pick, because there's like 3 specializations per class, think of them as subclasses from Destiny. And so there's like 3 specializations per class, which means you probably could find one that's super summon heavy, so the only question is...
I would, too.
The only question is, which fucking race would you actually want to play? There's some races that aren't able to pick Warlock, like for example.
I know, I'm gonna be a Warlock.
Taurens can't be Warlocks. Let's see, who all can't be Warlocks? Pandarans can't be Warlocks. Zandalari Trolls.
Shaman is the other one I might do.
Mahagar Orcs can't be Warlock. High Mountain Tauren are really fucking, like, specific. They can only be a few classes. Nightborns can be Warlocks. Mechanomes can't. Kultirans can't be Warlocks. Lightforged Draenei.
Hover over Warlock. Hover over Warlock.
Here's the problem: is I have to specifically
when you
pick.
select any of them, yeah.
It is.
There you go.
Alliance is Dark Iron Dwarves, Dwarves, Gnomes, Humans, Mechanomes, Void Elves, and Worgen can play Warlock on the Alliance side. And on the Horde side, it's Blood Elves, Goblin, Nightborn, Orc, Troll, and Undead and Vulpera. You can also see that they highlight them on the sides.
Yeah, that's why I was saying hover over it.
Some classes are fucking universal. Every race can be Warrior, every race can be Hunter, and every race can be Death Knight. Every single race can be those 3 classes. I actually don't know. Is there any races that cannot be Mage?
I doubt it, because it's a magic class. It's a universal magic class.
Yes, it is. Okay, so every
I seem
class
to remember
can be
magic
Warrior,
being a
Hunter, Mage, Death Knight, and I think Priest as well. I believe that there are no races that are locked from using Priest, because it's your universe. Nope, never mind.
You got to hover over it.
You can't be a...
Oh, you can't see you can't see non-unlocked, whether or not they can access it.
No, because these are default orcs.
No, I know. I'm saying you can't see the... You can't see... Say that you have... Because you have Nightborn not unlocked. You can't see whether or not it is unable to do a class.
I can see it.
I'm saying without clicking on them. You can't do the hover over trick.
Yeah, I can't do the hover over trick, but so Orcs and High Mountain Taurens are the only ones that can't be Priests, but for the most part, Priest is your universal healer class. Like, basically everyone can use it. All the important people that matter, that is. I'm sorry, but Orcs do not matter to me, and neither do Taurens.
I'll be watching over you.
In fact, in all honesty, if you ended up making a Horde character, I'd probably just make another Volpera.
Honestly, I would try to get a Volt. What does Volpera have access to?
Do it.
They have all but Paladin, Druid, and Demon Hunter.
There's actually very few things that can use Paladin.
Well, yeah.
Like, very few things can use Paladin, and very few things can use Druid.
What is Warlock classed as for rolls?
It's range damage exclusively. Warlock
That's right, I remember that.
Warlock has no close quarters options other than their summons. But them directly, they cannot deal melee damage. All of their skills are 100% allocated for range. Range damage, melee damage,
except for their summons, which they can
right.
Shaman gets an innate mount, don't they?
They are their mount.
That's right. The shamans are their mount. They are the innate mount.
Shamans are their own innate mount.
What are they classed as?
Morgans are also their own innate mount because they can just crawl on all fours, and they'll move
what is
mount.
Shaman innately classed as?
What do you mean? Oh, Shaman classification.
You could have
Shaman, or not Shaman. Druids are able to be their own mounts.
Yeah, I was gonna say Shaman is the support.
Shaman's a healer, range damage, or melee damage. Weird. I didn't know Shaman could be melee damage.
Well, it is support, so that's not surprising.
Yeah, no. The Hunter Path has a melee person. That is basically you relying on your pet. That is you going with a pet setup.
Hunter gets an innate pet. Druid is an innate mount.
Yes, Druid has innate mounts. Death Knights have summons, though they aren't as numerous as what you can do with Warlock. Warlock has...
Shaman, Warlock. Shaman is the totems.
Warlock has a shit, but Death Knight can summon a Thrall, as you just saw there.
Yeah.
Monks. Pretty default. They can actually fit into almost any of the roles. Tank, healer, and melee damage. The only thing they can't do is range damage. The monks are kind of your all-rounder. The only thing, though, is that they're jack of all trades, which means that they aren't a master of anything. So they do not excel at any of these things specifically. Like, I've noticed that if you are a tank monk, you aren't able to tank as well as some other things. If you're the healer monk, there are some better classes for healing. And for melee damage, there's certainly better DPS melees. But Monk's a good all-rounder. How many people actually run Monk, now that I think about it?
How many summons does the Warlock generally do?
I wouldn't be able to tell you directly, however, if this is an indicator, you have at the very least 4.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
At the very minimum 4. You could probably have more than that.
Due to other additional skill stacking, probably.
Either skill stacking, or your skill stacking just makes your 4s stronger. I don't know what it does, because I've never played Warlock. But Warlock is probably your best bet for summoning stuff. As for races do not directly have a bonus towards it. So if you just want to go for aesthetics, just pick whichever one you like
Warlock
most.
Warlock is Warlock.
Yes. Warlock is Warlock. All honesty, if you actually make an alliance... If you made a Horde, I'm literally only making a Volpera, but if you made an alliance character, I either would end up making another Worgen.
Volpera has all but...
or I was actually planning to make a Dwarf.
Dwarves!
Because I wanted to make a Paladin. Because I was like, can my Worgen be a Paladin?
Actually,
yeah. The answer is no.
You have whopping 5 that you have unlocked that can access Paladin.
I mean, yeah, that's like, it's literally by default, it's only 5, and they're all base races too. It's human, dwarf, or no, actually, Lightforge Draenei can also be paladins.
I'm saying that you have unlocked, you have
never
5.
mind, Zandalari
so
trolls can be...
7 in total.
Yes, there's 7. There are 7 races that can be a paladin.
I'm currently fetching data indices to start my download. I had to open up space, so.
1 second.
The payload is
I can't remember. Is there a way of having WoW so that you can support your subscription by playing enough? Guy. Oh.
Immer unterbricht mich jemand bei der Arbeit. 10 seconds. Attack! Shutting you down.
Play of the game.
My team is a bunch of idiots.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry, my sister needed to talk to me real quick.
Oh,
You're good.
But anyways, so you'd be playing Warlock.
Most likely, Warlock.
So you'd be DPS.
I'd be either Warlock or Shaman.
Or Shaman. Shaman's able to...
Because you know I like being a support.
Yeah, let's see. Shaman has healer, range damage, or melee damage. So the only thing you couldn't...
I would be a support either way.
So
if I went Shaman, I'd be supporting.
Yeah, I was about to say, if you went Shaman, we wouldn't have a tank, which means I'd probably have to make a tank. I'd probably have to pick a tank, so...
So Volpera has all but Paladin, Druid, and Demon Hunter.
Okay, Demon Hunter is something that I actually forgot to mention to you. Demon Hunter can only be used by 2 races.
They're one of the uniques that can only...
Only 2 races, because it is a hero class. Demon Hunters and Death Knights are hero classes, which means that they either have limited availability or they're available to everybody. Death Knight can be used by everybody, except for Zandalari Trolls, Volpera, Kultiran. Well, actually, all of the allied races. You have to own Shadowlands in order to be able to use Death Knight for the allied races.
I don't have Shadowlands.
Yeah, you'd have to own Shadowlands in order to use it with the 5 races on each side. Otherwise, they are available to everyone on the defaults. You could be a Death Knight with anything. And Death Knights are pretty good, specifically the tank. In fact, the tank is actually the recommended route that you pick. But Death Knights are pretty cool. I actually have a Death Knight Volpera. He's pretty fun. But, yeah, no, Demon Hunter is interesting, because it's only usable by 2 races. And that is the Blood Elves. I'm trying to remember the Blood Elves and the Night Elves. Yeah, Blood Elves and Night Elves. They can be Demon Hunters. This came out with, this came out with the Legion expansion, which is the expansion just before Battle for Azeroth, which is the... Technically, Battle for Azeroth is the current expansion, because Shadowlands came out more recently. Like, Shadowlands is the latest and greatest. Also, yes, there is a reason why you have this aesthetic. It is because you are, like, technically undead.
Yeah.
And you are actually a servant of the Lich King. The current Lich King. I actually didn't know that a different Lich King replaced the old one. The new one's actually a good guy. But yeah, so, all honesty, I would pretty much base my decision on which of the two classes that you wanted to pick. If you picked Warlock, I might end up picking either between a melee DPS or a tank. But if
How do you
picked,
unlock the Volpera?
The Volpera? A long and lengthy process. You have to go through Battle for Azeroth. You have to have a level 50 character. And
so I can't get it until I get.
You cannot beat it until you have at least beaten. What?
I won't be able to have access to it unless if I have a subscription. Period.
No. Battle for Azeroth is available. Well,
level 50.
Yeah, level 50. That's the one problem. You'd be able to start Battle for Azeroth, and you could probably make it through the first area. But you need to at least make it through the first area because you do not have access to.
Do you have a designated crafter?
Do I have a designated what?
Crafter.
Kind of. I have my. I believe the ones that I have that are designated crafters are him, because I have him as ranger, so I have mining.
That is a big step.
I have mining and tinkering. I have tinkering because I was planning on using guns.
You can feed her.
Yeah, so I was going to use guns with him, and it was recommended.
And I still had to feed Xyler a couple of times. Sorry.
That's good. So he's a bit of a designated crafter, though the only issue is he does tinkering, which means that you would have to pick a hunter, because most of the stuff that he makes is guns. And then
I'm asking because I can work on some crafting with mine.
And then I do have him, and he is a blacksmith and a miner. So I can make.
I will never forget in the Undead City in at least Classic, the fucking cockroach vendor.
Oh god.
The cockroach pet vendor. Yes, you can get a cockroach pet from a vendor in the Undead City.
So yeah, so this guy is a blacksmith, which means that he can make plate out of armors. He can make plate. I think he can also make chainmail technically, and then he can also make like just about any weapon type. So he is basically.
I can, if you need me to, I can work on some.
Okay. So yeah, so literally what I choose will be dependent on what you pick. Because as far as it goes, he's a solo
I need to
character.
boot the game to see what I can do. I need to.
He's my solo for. He's my solo for Alliance. I typically play this guy by myself, and then she's my solo Horde character. I typically play her when I'm by myself. This one I'm playing through Mists of Pandaria with many things. This one, me and many things are playing through Legion. This one is Burning Crusade, and then this one is Wrath of the Lich King and Cataclysm. So I actually do not have a character that's playing Warlords of Draenor. And then these two are playing through Battle for Azeroth, but they're both playing through it on the both different sides. Because
I don't know what side I would go on either way.
Because the thing that I also do is I have he is my DPS for the Alliance, DPS for the Horde, my healer for the Alliance, my healer for the Horde, my tank for the Alliance, and then my tank for the Horde. I have literally a DPS, a tank, and a healer on each side. So basically I have all my grounds covered. So whatever character you end up making, I will end up making whatever would probably complement best.
And just, you know, I can't do anything yet.
Yeah, I know. You have to wait for it to download.
Yep. 1 second, I can do a Google search though.
On what?
Your ass.
I would love to, but I can't see it.
Well,
I don't have my head.
I must go where
I was gonna say, I don't have my head up my ass far enough.
Well, I got pictures of skies behind and uploaded to Google Images, so if you want to look at his...
Who posted my nudes on Twitter.com?
I did. You have a problem with that?
Emotional damage!
I was quoting a video you guys probably wouldn't know.
Probably not. Also, wizard question.
Emotional damage!
Emotional damage!
Hey Wizard,
What,
would you want to try doing comp tomorrow, or would like Saturday and Sunday be better for you?
I have taken the
I'm off tomorrow, but Rainbow Six Extraction is released tomorrow.
Let's get you back in the fight.
So I will figure it out.
Okay. Well, I mean, if this weekend works better, that's fine, man. Whatever
I
works
don't
best
know.
for you.
I don't know what my working situation is going to be like, considering what happened. So.
Oh, so Wizard. There is actually a good thing that they did. So that way the game isn't so grind heavy currently because they kept on releasing expansions. The current cap is no longer at 90, the current cap is at 60. So they removed like a fair bit of grind from the game. At least levels wise, there's still.
You know what I can? You know what I just realized? I have a fucking MMO mouse, and I'm gonna play WoW.
Oh god.
I'm taking care of
16 at once.
Oh god.
Oh my god.
Bonk stick. The Ebony Warrior, when he sees me shaking off all my armor after paralyzing him. Poor Ebony Warrior.
Oh shit. Oh god, that was the wrong time to ult.
I actually can't wait to see what you decide to do. Do you want to play some maybe tonight for a little bit?
That's my plan.
Alright, cool.
Hey Sky, that's why I asked if you wanted to try tomorrow or the weekend instead of tonight.
Oh,
Deegan
sure.
even understood what I was
Because
doing
I'm like,
before
wait,
you
it
did.
has a very short download time. I'm about to leave for about an hour. That's why I'm like,
Yeah, I mean,
let me
I'm
try
already
for some-
14% downloaded, so.
So, like I
It
said,
might take a while.
But no, Wizard, just know if we do comp, I'm going Mercy. Because if we're going competitive, I want to try to do the best I can.
I'm going Moira.
So we'll definitely have to. I'm gonna pull up like a heal.
Yeah.
I'll probably pull up a competitive.
You know,
heal.
I'll be the off healer.
That Junkrat targeted me, that bastard.
If I'm healer, I will be off healer, I should say.
So Wizard,
Either Brigitte or Moira.
I know that you can't do it now, but do you want to make a Horde character so that way you can start working towards the Volpera? Sure, you may not be able to do it now.
That is what I'm
Then-
thinking, but I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm not sure between Warlock and Shaman.
Shit.
Well, I
I
mean,
tried.
that I can work around, so let's see. Shaman, you'd end up being a support, which means I wouldn't. Which means, yeah, I need
I
well, that
mean,
one's
if there's
gonna be a little bit.
Sky, if there is enough DPS, you don't need a healer.
I suppose. Well, I mean, I was looking for a tank. Is the thing.
You know the joke, though.
Yeah, I know. It's just that I don't know if I want to make another tank, simply because the only thing Volpera has available that can tank
Volpera as
is,
Shaman looks terrifying,
is
along
Death
with
Knight.
Death Knight.
like Death Knight. I already have a Death Knight Volpera. I don't know if I want to make another one. And I already have 2 warriors. This would be number 3.
Well, I
If I ended
gotta
up
say
having
though,
to.
Volpera Shaman and Volpera Death Knight are terrifying.
I mean, if you're confident enough that we can kill things fast enough, I was kind of considering making a rogue.
You can.
I was mildly considering
Just
making a
know
rogue.
I will be messing around and trying to get maximum minions.
That's obvious.
Just for the sake of how stupid can it get. Cause Sky,
Yeah, no.
you
So-
should see my Path of Exile character that has fucking umpteen zombies.
Oh god.
Be right back. Actually,
Well, I mean,
And,
seeing-
and